starting point is to understand that the precariat is a social class. It's a class of people defined by relations of production. That means the type of work patterns that they have to experience. It's also defined by the pattern of their earnings, low incomes, volatile incomes, being chronically in debt. And it's also defined by their relations to the state. People in the precariat are losing social rights, economic rights, political rights, cultural rights. And these three aspects are important in defining the precariat, because people in the precariat are experiencing their condition by relation to other classes and to the past and to the structure of society. I think it's very important to make the following point. The precariat is not defined by just insecure jobs. I think there's a lot of truth in a saying attributed to Aristotle that if you're going to have labor, it's better to be insecure labor, because that does not induce people to feel dependent in a servile way on jobs and labor. There is nothing wrong with casual jobs, except that they are in a context where people don't have any income security and any ability to have a sense of their own occupational development. For me, far more important than jobs is income security. That's why I support all moves towards a basic income for everybody, so that they can then pursue a life of economic security, developing in different ways. One should not wish to be in a long-term stable job if the job is boring or if the job is painful. Why should anyone want to have a long-term job cleaning public toilets, for example, or being behind a bar serving beer and coffees to people? That's not the human condition. And people in the precariat know that. And therefore, I think the politicians are wrong to focus on job stability. I would actually not be worried at all about that aspect if we had control of our time. And that's the subject of my new book, which has just come out, The Politics of Time. That's the subject. And we want to feel a sense of control over our own time. Well, I think the important thing to realize is, as you've said, that for the precariat, the main antagonist is the state. And by that, I mean the institutions of government and the institutions of the mass media and so on, who are taking the surplus, taking the economic gains for themselves, and are reducing the rights of the precariat. For example, the state is determining whether people get state benefits, and it's requiring more and more time from the precariat in order to obtain benefits. The state is determining whether they get them or not, and what behavior they have to follow in order to get something. The state is controlling us more and more on behalf of rentier capitalism, not in the sense of wanting to redistribute for the people. It is a captured state. It is a state dominated by finance, financial capital, and by the masters of the universe, the plutocrats, whose money is funding the political parties and the rhetoric of people like Donald Trump and people in Italy, the Brothers of Italy, and people like Boris Johnson and the far right across Europe, they are representing the agenda of an authoritarian state. And the biggest losers in that process are the Precariat. And that means we have to have a revolt against our old politics. We have to transform our left parties into agents of freedom, agents of social solidarity, and agents for emancipating the Precariat. And that means we who are supporting the Precariat have to organize and have to champion a new agenda and demand, before it's too late, that the parties that call themselves left on the left have to wake up and propose more transformative policies than they are doing at the moment. The conservatives of our era are the old left parties, and we need to have a revolt within our progressive side of politics. So I think that is where we need to start, because otherwise we are drifting more and more rapidly into another dark period of authoritarian far-right political domination.